majority of the world's 58 million riding horses and 100 million pack animals are being injured to some degree every day because their saddles do not fit.
Frank, what are the main problems?
Well, the problems involve stuffing the saddle evenly so the weight gets distributed evenly over the horse's back and you don't get any pressure points. And if you get that pressure, the tissue can get damaged, the muscles can get damaged, severe bruising, and into a chronic situation that can disable the horse for a good few months.
Well, here they're testing out some new equipment which checks if the saddle fits evenly and finds any pressure points before the invisible damage starts. It's just been brought over from America by two Californians who spent years designing hospital equipment to prevent human pressure sores. Now they've adapted the technology to help horses.
Scanning.
Okay, start walking.
256 sensors are built into a rug under the horse's saddle. That's linked to a computer to give a pattern of the pressure points on the horse's back. The highest pressure shows up red and the lowest blue. Ideally, it should all be in the blue mauve range.
Expert saddle fitters claim that you need to fit the saddle so it fits evenly on the horse's back. Now, to test that theory, we have molded a piece of plastic into a mirror image of this horse's back. Since the plastic is clear, we can actually see that it fits this horse perfectly.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is put the plastic to test this idea if an even surface actually does what everybody says it does. So we've got that with a little bit of padding for the horse.
Yeah, Robert,
Okay.
I'm seeing a
Now
lot
you
of
see what's happened here?
red.
You've got a space in the middle here, and then you've got pressure top and bottom. That's called bridging.
Okay.
That's how you get the white hairs on the horse.
But what's interesting is that was the one with the equal distribution.
You
So
got it. You got it. That's the issue.
not
That's the
working.
issue, that what you've been told for all these years is false.
Despite the fact that common sense and objective evidence has proven gravity's effect on the horse, the saddle industry ignores gravity in the form of the rider's weight as a factor in the fit of the saddle. However, the argument can be made that gravity is the most powerful force in the universe and it does affect horses.
We're all familiar with gravity as the reason objects fall, but there's much, much more to gravity than that.
Saddle fitting is a challenge for every equestrian, for the simple reason the saddle consumer has to rely on the so-called expertise of the vendor, saddle maker, or fitter to figure out which saddle to buy.
Well, you can see the problem. How are you going to fix it?
Well, what I finally discovered is that, like most things that are solved today, is you apply mathematics one way or another. So what I've done is I basically built a mechanical device that breaks the polyform shape of the horse's back into angles and arcs.
Make sure that all of the wings have maximum contact with the animal's back. Gently remove the gauge from the animal without moving anything. Now you can determine the saddle's fit for your horse.
It's my opinion that if you want to create a bar that doesn't bridge the deep part of a horse's back in here, you have to locate the deepest part. It usually is about right here, and that's the end of the trapezius muscle where it lies on top of the latissimus dorsi muscle. So that's where I like to set the second wing. Okay, then I set the Saddletech gauge on the pattern. So it's my purpose is to try to put the weight of the load between there and here. So I want the load on an area about like that to right here. I don't want to interfere with the tissue over the kidneys or the lateral action of the shoulders. That would fit like about right there. It's just ordinarily all trees bridge their back here. And these trees are designed to set down on their back here and then raise up front and back.
And once you have those areas described, you then can write a formula that's capable of changing the effect of the weight of the rider relative to the weight of the horse. So if you have a 90-pound rider on a 1,600-pound horse, it obviously is going to have no effect. But if you're going to have a 250-pound rider on an 800-pound Arab, now you're going to have a major effect. So you have to adjust the arc to compensate for that.
Okay.
So what you just saw is that a saddle that is made to fit evenly unladen bridges. So what you have to do is give it more rock so that when the rider goes into it, you now have an even shape. So once you have that, you can then use the computer system to verify that that's true. Now you can adjust the formula for a reiner versus dressage, because the computer then says, well, okay, yes, that's true, the weight of the rider is affected by this, but this particular discipline needs this much more, and then we can get into all sorts of different subtleties, all done with mathematics.
This new Kickstarter campaign, 4D Measurement Protecting Horses from Saddles, aims to solve this saddle fitting problem by renting the state-of-the-art three-dimensional horse and saddle measurement instrument directly to the consumer, so the consumer themselves, not the saddle maker, can determine the fit of the saddle more accurately than the saddle maker before they buy the saddle. If you want to rent this saddle fitting technology, this Kickstarter campaign needs your support now. Please go to the saddlefittingsimplified.com homepage and click on the Kickstarter button. It will take you to the 4D Measurement Kickstarter page, and just scroll down and click on the subscribe button and fill out the form with your email address. Once we have sufficient number of subscribers to guarantee the success of the project, we will go live and you will be one of the first to know. So let's mount up. We're going to have a wild ride. May the force be with us.